Invited on Tuesday evening to speak at the annual Congress of VOKA, the Flemish Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the President of the European Commission, José Manuel Barroso, explained the steps the European Commission has taken so far in response to the current economic crisis, including, most recently, a blueprint for a deep and genuine economic and monetary union. Framing the current debate about the European multi-annual budget, he emphasized crucial stakes for small and medium-sized enterprises, such as support for research and innovation and access to finance in general. Finalizing the single market is also a way to create further opportunities, said President Barroso, recalling the Single Market Act 2 adopted by the European Commission recently, which sets out 12 new key actions for growth in the internal market. He encouraged entrepreneurs to exploit the potential of trade within the EU and free trade agreements between the EU and various countries. On Wednesday in Brussels, President Barroso attended the second annual convention of the European Platform Against Poverty and Social Exclusion, together with the President of the European Council, Herman Van Rompuy. The three-day event brought many participants from 40 countries to discuss the progress made in reducing poverty across Europe. With over 119.6 million people in the European Union at risk of poverty or social exclusion, the European Platform Against Poverty and Social Exclusion, launched in 2010, sets out actions to support member states in reaching the EU target of reducing poverty and social exclusion by at least 20 million by 2020. In his opening speech, the President stressed that breaking out of this cycle requires fiscal consolidation, deep reforms and targeted investment, but without forgetting social inclusion. He insisted that the European social model is not dead, despite the crisis.
This issue of poverty and social exclusion is one of the key challenges we are facing today in Europe. Across Europe, for the first time in half a century, many of our citizens look to the future, not with expectation in a better life, but with uncertainty and even fear. The root cause of the current situation is economic, and we will not be able to face the social challenge unless we overcome also the economic challenge. We must get the fundamentals right and work towards growth that should be sustainable and inclusive, that is necessary for the development of our social model. Indeed, the current crisis has been the result of different elements: unsustainable levels of debt, public debt, but also private and corporate debt, and also decline in European competitiveness over the last decade or even longer. Breaking out this cycle requires very difficult policies. It requires the correction of public finances. It requires reforms for Europe to regain competitiveness, and also requires investment, targeted investment to promote growth and create jobs. But the measures to keep budgets under control should be in line with the social objectives and equity in longer term, and to sustain future social security systems.
Last week, the European Commission adopted its annual growth survey, AGS. One of the 5 priorities of AGS is tackling unemployment and the social consequences of the crisis. The emphasis is on the need to protect the most vulnerable and outlines the measures to prepare for a job-rich recovery, to improve employability levels and to promote social inclusion in Europe. The EU can complement national efforts, for example, by providing food support to the most deprived, by providing professional retraining through the European Social Fund, or helping redundant workers through the European Globalization Fund. The Commission has proposed to keep and strengthen these instruments as part of the EU's future budget 2014 to 2020.